A very good afternoon. You're watching NDTV World Report. We have a whole lot lined up for you. Let's begin with our top story, and that is a South Korean court today approved an arrest warrant for President Yoon Suk Yeol, who has been impeached and suspended from power over his decision to impose martial law on the 3rd of December. Investigating authorities have said that the Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials confirmed the Seoul Western District Court approved that very warrant. This is the first ever arrest warrant issued for an incumbent president in South Korea, according to local media. On Monday, South Korean investigators sought an arrest warrant for Mr. Yoon over this month's short-lived imposition of martial law. Yoon is facing a criminal investigation into possible insurrection charges. And switching tracks to news coming in from the United States, U.S. officials have said that a Chinese state-sponsored hacker has broken into the U.S. Treasury Department's systems, accessing employee workstations and some unclassified documents. The breach occurred in early December and was made public in a letter penned by the Treasury Department to lawmakers, notifying them of the incident. The U.S. agency characterized the breach as a major incident and said that it had been working with the FBI and other agencies to investigate the impact. A spokesman for the Chinese embassy in Washington, D.C. has reportedly said that the accusation is part of a smear attack and was made without any factual basis. And getting you news from Germany now, the German government has accused Elon Musk of trying to meddle in the country's election campaign with repeated endorsements of the far-right party AfD. It is indeed the case that Elon Musk is trying to influence the federal election, is what the government spokesperson Christian Hoffman had to say after Elon Musk put out that post on his social media site X that an opinion piece published at the weekend backing the anti-Muslim, anti-migration alternative for Deutschland. She said at a regular media briefing that Elon Musk had the right to freedom of speech, adding, after all, freedom of opinion also covers the greatest nonsense. Listen in.
In der Tat ist es so, dass Elon Musk versucht, durch seine Einlassung Einfluss auf die Bundestagswahl zu nehmen. Seine Meinung zu äußern steht ihm, wie gesagt, frei. Diese Meinung muss man jetzt nicht teilen. Ich glaube, es ist gut, grundsätzlich nochmal darauf hinzuweisen, dass hier eine Wahlempfehlung ausgesprochen wird für eine Partei, die vom Verfassungsschutz beobachtet wird, unter dem Verdacht, rechtsextremistisch zu sein und die bereits als in Teilen rechtsextremistisch erkannt worden ist.
And according to the U.S. Army, a state funeral for former U.S. President Jimmy Carter will be held at the Washington National Cathedral on the 9th of January. Carter died on Sunday at the age of 100. U.S. President Joe Biden, who last year had said that Jimmy Carter had asked him to deliver his eulogy at his funeral, has directed that the 9th of January 2025 will be a national day of mourning for Carter throughout the United States. The official 6-day state funeral for Carter begins on Saturday as he remains remains travel by motorcade through his hometown of the Plains in Georgia. And this is in regard to a federal appeal. This is a federal appeals court on Monday upheld a $5 million verdict that E. Jean Carroll won against Donald Trump when a jury found that the United States president-elect liable for sexually abusing and later defaming the former magazine columnist. The decision was issued by a 3-judge panel of the 2nd U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Manhattan. The May 2023 verdict stemmed from an incident around 1996, backing all the way down to 1996 in Bergdorf Goodman department store dressing room in Manhattan, where Carroll said that Trump raped her, and an October 2022 Truth Social post where Trump denied those claims that were being made by Carroll as hoax. And staying with news of United States President-elect Donald Trump, who has endorsed Representative Mike Johnson to continue on in the role of House Speaker, just days before lawmakers are set to decide on who will hold which position. The House of Representatives is scheduled to vote on a speaker on Friday during the first day of the 119th congressional session. Johnson faces some opposition from within his own party after working with Democrats on a bipartisan funding plan earlier this month. Republicans have a slim majority in the House, giving Johnson little room for defectors. He is to remain in the role if that is possible, which he has held since October of last year. The United States on Monday announced nearly $6 billion in additional military and budget assistance, and this is for Ukraine, as President Joe Biden uses his final weeks in office to surge aid to Kiev before President-elect Donald Trump takes over as the president. Biden announced $2.5 billion in additional security assistance for Ukraine, and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said that the United States has made available $3.4 billion in additional budget aid to Ukraine, giving the war-torn country critical resources amid intensifying Russian attacks on Ukrainian civilians and infrastructure. This is an announcement that's been made by Joe Biden, including $1.25 billion in military aid drawn from U.S. stockpiles and a $1.22 billion Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative package. The final USAI package of Biden's time in office, under which the military equipment is procured from the defense industry or partners and rather than drawn from American stocks, meaning it can take months or even years to arrive on the battlefield. Russia and Ukraine have exchanged hundreds of prisoners of war in a deal brokered by the UAE. The Russian Defense Ministry has said that it had swapped 150 Ukrainian soldiers held captive for an equal number of Russian troops. And it's Ukrainian President Zelensky who said 189 Ukrainians had returned home. He added that those released included defenders of Azovstal as well as Mariupol. This is the nuclear power plant and the Snake Island. Security forces were seen removing part of a missile that was reportedly launched from Yemen and intercepted by Israel. Curious residents gathered to look as members of a special police unit took away the debris that had landed in a street in Beit Shemesh city, located about 30 kilometers from Jerusalem. Israel's military has said that it intercepted that missile fired towards the country by Yemen's Houthi rebels late on Monday. Military has confirmed that sirens were sounded across central Israel due to the possibility of failing shrapnel from the interception, and there were also no reports of injuries as far as Israel's rescue service is concerned. 17 men convicted in Pelicot mass rape trial have appealed a verdict. According to the prosecutor's office, all 51 men on trial were found guilty of rape or sexual assault when the trial concluded earlier this month. Pelicot organized for more than 50 men to visit his house and rape his then-wife, Giselle Pelicot, who he habitually drugged with a sedative over a period spanning nearly 10 years. And Ukrainian foreign minister has visited Damascus on the 30th of December. This is in regard to a delegation, marking the first official Ukrainian delegation to Syria in years. During the trip, he held talks with Syria's de facto leader, Ahmad al-Sharaa. The visit also follows the collapse of the Russia-backed regime of former Syrian President Bashar al-Assad on the 8th of this month amid a large-scale rebel offensive. This is the first visit of an official Ukrainian delegation to Syria in many years. It demonstrates our readiness to open a new chapter in bilateral relations with Syria, is what is being said by the foreign ministry. Listening.
Передати сирійському народові особисте послання від президента України Володимира Зеленського.
وأنا هنا لأنقل رسالة من فخامة رئيس جمهورية أوكرانيا ومني شخصيا.
А звучить воно дуже чітко. Ми з вами, ми готові допомагати сирійському народу, бо Україна зацікавлена у стабільній Сирії та розвитку взаємовигідної співпраці.
And South Korea has launched an emergency safety inspection. This inspection has taken care of the country's entire airline operations and a separate check of all Boeing 737 and 800s after 179 people died in that air crash involving an aircraft on Sunday. As shocked citizens began a second day of official mourning and flags flew at half-mast. The government said it would carry out the audit of all 101 of the aircrafts in the domestic operations, with the US investigators possibly including Boeing joining the inspection. Choi Sang-mok, who was appointed South Korea's president 2 days before the disaster, said an exhaustive inspection was essential to overall the aviation safety system and move towards a safer Republic of Korea.
그리고 더불어서 아까 B737 800 시리즈가 지금 이제 우리나라에 101대가 이제 운영이 되고 있습니다. 그래서 일단 B737 800에 대해서는 좀 우선적으로 좀 특별 점검을 좀 실시하는 방안을 지금 검토를 하고 있다는 말씀을 드리겠습니다.
And cleanup was underway on Monday after a strong storm system that spawned hail, rain as well as high winds and tornadoes across the southern U.S. over the weekend, killing at least 4 people. Mark Wiley, an emergency response specialist with the National Weather Service's Southern Region headquarters, has confirmed over 30 tornadoes had been confirmed spanning from Texas to South Carolina. The storms came over a busy holiday travel weekend, causing some treacherous road conditions along with delays or cancellations at some of the busiest airports in the United States.
Here in my shop working, when I needed only the air blow in 30 seconds, maximum 1 minute. In 1 minute, me close my eyes. When I need it open, everything's down.
And Edinburgh's Hogmanay celebrations have been cancelled due to extreme weather forecasts, with heavy winds as well as threatening more festivities across the United Kingdom. Outdoor events planned for the Scottish capital's New Year celebration on Monday and Tuesday, including the street party and fireworks display, was scrapped. Meteorologist Alex Deacon has said the rough weather conditions was likely to cause some disruption and that the Met Office was working very closely with the partners and giving advice. Let's listen in.
The weather is likely to cause some disruption, certainly over the next few days. The Met Office issue warnings based on potential impacts given the weather forecast, up to areas to decide and councils and organise to decide whether they're going to cancel certain events. But we work very closely with our partners, giving advice about such events.
Welcome back. You're watching the World Report, and let's now get you some business and tech news. This is coming from Asian stocks that eased on Tuesday in cautious end-of-year trading that has seen investors scale back bets of deep U.S. rate cuts in 2025 and brace for the incoming Trump administration. Dollar stands tall against most other currencies despite the year-end weakness. U.S. stocks have surged this year, with the Nasdaq on track for about a 30% annual gain and the S&P 500 headed for more than a 24% rise. And a shareholder of Archer Daniels Midland is pressing the company's CEO to resign for failing to clearly tell investors about problems with its internal accounting practices. This has sparked a criminal investigation. Archer Daniels shareholder Hartwig Fuchs said that ADM was the worst stock in his portfolio this year and blamed the ADM CEO. Also, the board has gone on to say that the board chairman of German trading firm Alfred Topfer International, when ADM owned a majority stake in the firm, and has also left Topfer in 2009, and Chicago-based ADM acquired it in 2014. Oil prices rose on Tuesday after data showed China's manufacturing activity expanded in December. They're on track to end lower for a second consecutive year due to demand concerns in top consuming countries. Brent crude futures rose by almost 57% to $74.56 US a barrel. Now, US West Texas immediately has gone on to talk about crude that gained 58% to 71.57 for a barrel as far as US dollars are concerned for the year, and Brent has declined at 3.2%, while West Texas Intermediate was down 0.1%. The tunneling of Tianshan-Shengli Tunnel, the world's longest expressway tunnel, was completed on Monday morning. In China's region, this has marked a significant milestone as far as China's infrastructure development is concerned. Its construction started in 2020. The tunnel is about 22.13 kilometers long. It is a landmark transportation project which is expected to turn China into a country with strong transport network. NVIDIA has officially completed its $700 million acquisition of Israeli AI infrastructure firm Run AI. The deal, which had faced antitrust scrutiny, was cleared by the European Commission in December. Run AI specializes in optimizing AI infrastructure, a capability that complements NVIDIA's dominance in the GPU market with an 80% share in AI-related graphics processing. NVIDIA's latest acquisition strengthens its position as a global leader in artificial intelligence technology. And Ukraine's largest mobile operator, Kyivstar, has partnered with Elon Musk's Starlink in order to introduce cutting-edge direct-to-cell satellite services. The technology enables satellites to act like cell towers, delivering phone signals straight to smartphones. Kyivstar, owned by telecom group Yoon, expects, in fact, messaging services to launch as late as 2025, with voice and data services which will follow. This collaboration is expected to revolutionize mobile connectivity in Ukraine, though financial terms of the deal have yet not been disclosed. And Samsung Electronics has significantly boosted its robotics ambition by becoming the largest shareholder in South Korea's Rainbow Robotics. In a regulatory finding, the company confirmed a $181 million investment, raising its stake to 14.71%, surpassing the Founders Group as the leading shareholder. Samsung has also established a future robotics office to drive its long-term vision for robotics, signaling its intent to dominate the rapidly growing sector. And China's electric vehicle giant, we're talking about Zepang, is planning a major hiring spree in 2025 with over 6,000 new positions expected. The CEO has announced the move in an internal letter highlighting the plans to expand the company's presence from 30 to over 60 countries and regions by 2025. He also predicted a fierce price war as far as the EV market starting January 2025 as competition in the sector continues to intensify. Switching tracks to some entertainment report now, and that's coming in fact of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt that have reached a divorce settlement, bringing in an apparent end to one of the longest and most contentious divorces in Hollywood's history. Jolie's attorney has confirmed on Monday that the couple had come to a deal, saying that his client was exhausted but relieved that the ordeal was finally over. The two Oscar winners were among Hollywood's most prominent couples for about 12 years, and they have been in that long-standing feud that's lasted over years, but finally a settlement has been reached. And Argentina has charged 5 people over the death of former One Direction singer Liam Payne. The 31-year-old star died on the 16th of October this year after falling from the third-floor balcony of a hotel in Buenos Aires. Well, Payne's manager, as well as the hotel's manager and its receptionist, as well as Payne's friend Roger Norris, have been charged with manslaughter. Argentina's prosecutor's office went on to confirm. And technicians have prepared more than 10,000 fireworks on Monday ahead of New Year's Eve fireworks display and celebrations which will take place in front of London Eye tonight. 12,000 fireworks are being prepared on barges for the United Kingdom's official display in London. The barges will be sailed up to their position in front of London Eye. The countries worldwide are preparing their firework displays as revelers prepare to toast the New Year at midnight. And let's get you the latest, and this is in regard to actors Carey Mulligan as well as Stephen Fry and author. Well, we're talking about Ishiguro, who have been awarded New Year honors. The award is in place to celebrate artists, athletes, politicians and others who made notable contributions to British society. More than 1,200 across the United Kingdom were honoured in this semi-annual award function, with most going to those whose acts happen outside the spotlight cast on the famous and well-known.